The 12th of February 2016, the 25th day of the lunar year. The butcher's knife slips slightly in your hand, not from sweat, from something in the air, a greasy, indescribable heaviness that coats the skin without warning. This is winter in the basin, cold and damp enough to leach warmth straight from the bones. But today feels different. You stand on the concrete floor of your family courtyard. At your feet lies the pig, freshly bled for the new year. The smell of iron and raw meat hangs thick. Yet threaded through it is something else. Sulfur, faint but unmistakable. Like striking 100 cheap matches all at once. Move it. What are you spacing out for? Uncle George, who came to help with the slaughter, urges you on. A cigarette dangles from the corner of his mouth. Ash drops onto the dark blue mouse-style jacket he's worn for decades, the fabric polished smooth by time. You don't answer. Instead, you look up. The sky is wrong. Not overcast, not grey. It is a sickly yellow, the colour of spoiled liver left too long on a market stall, edges already turning black. The clouds hang low, so low they seem to scrape the distant hills as they move. There is no wind. The old pomelo tree in the courtyard doesn't stir. Not a leaf trembles. The stillness presses in, and unease spreads through you like wild grass. You are one of the few in the village who came back after college. You lease land, run a small orchard. You think carefully. You read more than most. That alone makes you sharper than the elders who spend their days watching short videos and waiting for meals. Your phone vibrates in your pocket. You take it out. A message from an old classmate now working as a technician at the Municipal Weather Bureau. Just a few words. Your pupils contract. Don't go outside. Get quicklime. If you can afford it, seal the windows. Your thumb hovers, ready to call him back. A news alert slides down from the top of the screen. Sudden industrial fog event in a coastal city. Multiple regions activate level 1 emergency response. You tap it. The page loads. Then 404. In that instant, you hear your own heart slam against your chest. Uncle George, you say suddenly. You bring the knife down onto the chopping block with a dull thud. You handle the meat. I'll give you half the head good with liquor. Uncle George freezes. The cigarette burns his lip before he reacts. Have you lost your mind? You don't have time to explain what a divine acidic compound is, or what a 404 means when it shouldn't exist. You turn and rush inside. Urgency grips every muscle, a desperate need to pull control from chaos. Sarah, pack things. Your voice cuts into the kitchen where oil crackles as she fries pork. Medicine. Formula. All our documents. Get them together. She runs out holding a slotted spoon, eyes wide. What's wrong? Don't ask. Listen to me. You grip her shoulders, lock eyes with her. Like when I told you to stock masks before, trust me again. You swallow, I might be wrong, but if I'm not, these next few hours decide whether we live. Sarah studies your face, the bulging vein at your temple, the rare edge in your voice. She is a nurse. She has seen life and death. She knows your nature, usually mild, dangerously decisive when it matters. Okay, she says. She turns off the stove without another word. You grab your keys. The old second-hand pickup roars like an aging ox kicked into motion, charging beneath the yellow sky. The wholesale market is 5 kilometers away. You floor it. Bamboo groves flash past the windows, their green so dark it borders on black and naturally lifeless. At the market, New Year cheer still reigns. Red lanterns, couplets, elders haggling over sunflower seeds and candy. Their carefree joy chills you to the spine. You pull straight up to a grain supplier. Firecracker, debris crunches under your tires. Christ 50-pound bags, 20 of them, flour 10, canola oil, 10 cases. Your words fire off like bullets. The owner's wife startles, seed husks clinging to her lips. Hosting a feast. Yeah, hurry. You start hauling bags yourself. Each 50-pound sack feels light too light. Adrenaline burns through you. As you load, your mind calculates. 3 people, £1 a day, a year and a half. Not enough, not even close. You return home just after 4 in the afternoon. The dogs in the village begin to bark. Not the sharp warning bark for strangers, but a low, frightened whine. Help me move this now. You jump down from the truck and shout into the house. Sarah has already packed most of what matters. Your daughter, Lily, sits on a small wooden stool, clutching her cloth doll. She looks at you with wide, obedient eyes. So well behaved it hurts. Daddy, she says softly, pointing outside. The sky is so yellow. Inside, right now. Don't come out again. The house is old. Stone foundation, red brick walls. Beside it, half buried into the earth, is a sweet potato cellar, a structure common in this part of the basin, dug deep for winter storage, thick soil piled above it, warm in winter, cool in summer. You look at it. This is it, your ark. You and Sarah move like tireless ants, hauling supplies into the cellar again and again. Rice flour, oil, water, quicklime. Uncle George passes your gate carrying half a pig's head. He watches your sweat, soaked clothes and snorts. War coming, he jokes. Whole family moving into a potato hole. You pause, despite yourself. You say it. Uncle George, cover your roof with plastic. Seal your windows tight. He shakes his head. Crazy. He walks away, pig's head swinging. You don't follow. After supplies come reinforcement. You climb onto the shed roof above the cellar. Industrial plastic sheeting unrolled beneath your hands. Wire bites into your fingers as you secure layer after layer. At the seams, you squeeze thick beads of weatherproof sealant. You don't seal the vent completely. Instead, You build a U-shaped PVC pipe, stuffed with gauze soaked in baking soda and packed with activated charcoal. A crude filter, the wooden cellar door is too thin. You tear off the sheet metal once used for the pig pen and bolt it onto the door, every gap filled with expanding foam. When you finish, darkness has fallen, not night, something thicker. The air has changed, no longer faint sulfur, but a sharp choking stench, like toilet cleaner mixed with burnt rubber. Your throat itches, your eyes sting. Cellar. Now. You pull Sarah close, scoop Lily into your arms, and duck into the 20 square meter underground space. The heavy door shuts. The bolt slides home. Sealant-lined seams cut off the outside world. Silence drops like a curtain. A dim emergency lamp glows yellow. Supplies rise around you like walls. The familiar smell of earth, sweet potato skins. Damp soil pushes back the scent of death. You slump against a stack of rice bags, gasping. Your cotton jacket is soaked through. You glance at your phone. No signal. Annex. The network is gone. You stay there for 3 days. On New Year's Eve at 8 o'clock, the thermometer reads 12 degrees warmer than outside. There is no spring festival gala. No signal. The radio offers only static. Then a sound above you, not rain. A dense teeth grinding hiss. Like countless snakes tasting the air, like cold water poured into hot oil. The acid rain has arrived. It eats at the metal roofing, your first line of defense. Daddy, Lily whispers, shrinking into Sarah's arms. What's that noise? You force a smile. You take out a small chocolate milk carton, pierce the straw, hand it to her. The sky is setting off firecrackers, you say. They just sound a little strange. Sarah looks at you. Her face is pale. She doesn't ask. Let's eat, you say, breaking the pressure. You light the smokeless charcoal stove, once used for outdoor barbecues. Now it saves your life. The pot of red oil begins to boil. Chili peppers and Sichuan peppercorns churn in the steam. The fierce, numbing aroma floods the cellar. Fear retreats. You slice the New Year pork thin. In the low ceiling space, you drop slice after slice into the pot. They blanch, curl, emerge. You dip them in garlic and sesame oil. 1 piece for Lily, 1 for Sarah. You say only 1 word. Eat. Sarah's eyes redden. She eats. Here underground, this heat is survival. You take a bite. It's blistering hot. Tears spill instantly. You don't know if it's the spice or the fragile relief of still being alive. Then a scream, high, distant, dragged through layers of soil. You know that sound. A dog. Your dog, you forgot to bring him inside. The scream lasts seconds, becomes a whimper, then frantic scratching, like something tearing flesh. Then nothing. Lily drops the carton. Daddy, is that Max? You pull her close, cover her ears. Your hands shake. number just a wild dog. Max went to the hills to play. Sarah lowers her head. Her tears fall into the bowl. You all know. Under acid rain like this, fur slough instantly. Skin dissolves. Bone shows. You eat in silence. The hissing above continues. Death knocking. You look at the walls of supplies, at your trembling wife and child. Something primitive rises in you. Whatever hell waits outside, this cellar is the heaven you must defend. You wake at 6 in the morning habit. The cellar has no dawn, no dusk, only the emergency lamp, dim to its lowest setting, breathing out a tired glow. The air feels heavier today. Stale. You check the ventilation pipe. The activated charcoal is darkening but not yet saturated. Still holding. In the corner, a basin of water sits beneath a loose mesh. You scatter a handful of quicklime into it. It hisses softly. Sarah and Lily are still asleep. You move carefully to the observation tube, a PVC pipe you left intentionally, 2 mirrors fixed inside, angled just enough to see without being seen. A crude periscope. You press your eye to it. The image is blurred. Condensation fogs the edges, but you see enough. Your heart clenches. The village is gone. The bamboo forest that once ringed the hills now blackened stumps, like rotten chopsticks stabbed into mud. The ground is coated in yellow-brown foam, still releasing thin white vapor. Chemical residue. Your old pomelo tree stands stripped bare. Its bark has peeled away. The trunk underneath is dark, almost charred. You adjust the angle. Uncle George's house. The tiled roof has collapsed halfway. The tiles, once blue-black, have crumbled into pale powder. In the courtyard lies something shapeless. You tilt again. It is him. He lies under the eaves as if he tried to run. The deep blue jacket is unrecognizable, a rag fused to his body. You do not look closely at the skin. You don't need to. Burn patterns speak their own language. His hand still grips half-awake's head. You gag, barely swallow it back. Daddy, Lily sirs. You seal the viewing port instantly. Turn, inhale. You force warmth into your face. Awake already. Happy New Year. You take out a red envelope prepared days ago. Press it into her hands. Sarah wakes too. Her voice is hoarse. She studies your face. You shake your head just enough. Don't ask. Let's play a game, you say, clapping once. You smile wider than you feel. We're underground explorers. Outside is the land of monsters. No one goes out. No loud noises, or the monsters hear us. Lily nods seriously. Games make sense to children. The days blur. Life becomes routine. You create a schedule, not for efficiency, but sanity. 8 a.m. wake. Wipe faces with damp towels. Water is too precious to waste. 9. Breakfast. Thin porridge. pickled vegetables. Morning, Sarah teaches Lily letters. You inspect every wall, every seam. No leaks, no cracks. Lunch is dry rations. Afternoons stretch endlessly. You pace the 20 square meters, sort supplies, count again. Dinner at 6, then sleep to save battery. The worst problem is waste. The cellar connects to the house septic system, but you don't dare use it. Backflow could kill you, so you improvise. Plastic bags inside buckets. Cat litter, quicklime tight. Stack them in the far corner. The smell is unpleasant. Lime dampness rot. You endure it. Survival has its own standards. On the third night, thunder rolls. Then, a heavier impact. The beam overhead shudders. Dust rains down into the noodles Sarah just cooked. You leap up, hammer in hand. What is it? She whispers, clutching Lily. You stare upward, not thunder. Your voice is flat. The house collapsed. Days of acid have eaten through brick and mortar. The roof gave way. Something drips, clearer now. You run to the cellar stairs. From beneath the reinforced door, yellow liquid seeps in. It steams on contact with concrete, hisses. Choose. Quicklime, you shout. Sarah throws a sack. You rip it open, dump the powder onto the seam. Violent heat erupts. Steam fills the passage. Your eyes burn. You shovel the powder, pack it tight, a white dam against death. Daddy, it's hot. The temperature spikes. You strip down to your undershirt. Sarah pulls Lily deeper inside, covers her face with a wet cloth. You stand guard all night, every seep lime. By dawn, half the sack is gone. Your hands blistered. At sunrise, the flow slows equilibrium. You sink to the floor. Sarah wraps your hands. So that's why you bought quicklime, she whispers. You smile without humor. This is just the beginning. Later, through the periscope movement, shadows, figures at the village edge. Men with pots on their heads, plastic sheeting smoking on their backs. They stagger, living people. In times like this, the living are worse than the dead. Time slips, days lose their names. By the 6th day of the lunar year, the warning light on your air filter blinks red. Activated charcoal nearing saturation. You reduce ventilation. The air thickens. Sweat, mold, the faint metallic bite of acid that somehow still finds its way inside. Then, a sound. 3 dull knocks. Not debris, not wind, intentional. Sarah freezes mid-motion. Apple slice suspended between her fingers. Lily looks up. You don't move. The knock comes again. Slow. Measured. You grip the butcher's knife. Motion Sarah and Lily to the far corner, behind the stacked sweet potatoes. You step to the door. A small viewing port added later, lined with thick, cloudy impact glass. Outside, light is weak. Through the grime you see faces too. No, 3. Frank from the neighboring village, his wife. Between them, a bundled shape, a child. Open the door, he rasps. We know you're in there. His voice sounds like sandpaper. Our house hasn't fully collapsed. Please. Your hand tightens on the bolt. 3 bodies. 3 sources of contamination. 3 mouths. Your supplies calculated carefully would stretch 2 months, maybe less. And their skin, you've seen chemical burns. Open wounds in a sealed space are biological weapons. Then a cry, thin, weak. The child is alive. Sarah steps behind you. She says nothing. Her fingers clutch your sleeve. She is a mother. You inhale, then exhale. Cold calculation replaces hesitation. Step back, you shout. Up the stairs. If you don't, I won't open. They stumble backward. You pull on a mask, suit up in the old protective gear. Open the first metal layer. The stench hits you even through the filter. You don't let them into the cellar. You point toward a garage, half standing under its steel frame. There's cover there. Wood to burn. You throw out a sack of rice, a bucket of water, antibiotics, burn ointment. Do not come closer. Do not touch this door. If you try to force entry, you say flatly, I will kill you. Back inside, you shake. Not from cold, from the look in Frank's eyes when he saw the rice. Not gratitude, hunger, green, animal hunger. For 3 days you watch. They make fire, eat. Recover. Frank often stands at the edge of the garage, staring, measuring. On the 9th day, the rain changes, a fine mist, war penetrating. At 2 a.m. Sarah wakes you. There's a sound, metal, soft scraping. You look through the port. 4 men now, steel bars, shovels, helmets, canvas wrapped tight. Frank points at the hinge. There is no speech, no betrayal speech. Survival doesn't require explanation. You move fast. Lily cabinet. You place her inside the wooden wardrobe, hand her headphones. You hand Sarah a bottle stuffed with cloth. If they get in stairs, you take position. The door buckles, metal shrieks, acid wind leaks in. The alarm screams. Give us the food, someone yells. Frank's voice follows. We just want half. You fire. A steel nail punches through a boot. Screams. They surge anyway. Fire. Heat. You charge. You throw quicklime into faces. Water turns it into blinding poison. Chaos. You swing the pitchfork. Then Frank's face. You grab a brick. Throw. Get out. They retreat. Blood on the steps. You collapse. Sarah holds you. You stare at a warped door. Shh. This will not be the last time. Morning comes without light. You are binding the cut on your forearm when the ground trembles. Not violently. Just enough. A glass of water on the shelf ripples. Then a low sound rolls through the cellar, deep, distant, like something massive turning in its sleep. Your face drains of color. You studied civil engineering once. You remember enough. This region is limestone. Acid rain has been falling for days. Acid seeps downward. Rock dissolves. What was solid becomes hollow. Add saturation. Add weight. Mudslide, you whisper. If the mountain gives way, this cellar, no matter how reinforced, becomes a coffin. Pack, you say. Now Sarah looks at you. Are they back? Worse, you answer. The mountain is. You don't debate. Debate wastes time. You strip your plan to essentials. Compressed biscuits, water, medicine. Everything else, 90% of what you hoarded, you leave. The protective suits come out, improvised from industrial acid-resistant sheets, helmets, respirators. Ugly. Dressing Lily is the hardest. She cries, shakes. We're going on an adventure, Sarah tells her, voice breaking. In the truck. 10 minutes. That's all it takes to abandon a month of preparation. You shoulder 60 pounds, Sarah 30 and Lily. When you open the warped cellar door, the world hits you. The garage has partially collapsed. Frank's family is gone. Run buried. You don't know. The mountain smokes. Yellow fog coils around its slopes. The earth moves, slowly, like flesh. Run. 30 meters. From cellar to garage, it feels endless. Rain falls thick and yellow. It hisses on your suit. White smoke blooms. Your boots soften. The ground burns. Inside the garage, the pickup waits. Plastic sheeting rotted to lace. Paint eaten away. Metal exposed. You slide into the driver's seat. Come on, you whisper. The engine roars, mechanical, reliable. You smash through the door. The wipers die instantly. Rubber dissolves. You drive blind, memory only. Then the mountain falls. A roar behind you. A wall of earth. Your home vanishes. Do not look back. The road is pits of acid water. Abandoned cars, people inside. Still, you don't stop. You break through. The smell enters the cabin. Acid fog. Your skin burns. You don't know how long you drive. An hour. A lifetime. Then lights. Red. Blue. A wall. Foam sprays. Soldiers in white. You honk until the horn croaks. The truck dies meters short. You run. They hose you down. Neutralizer burns cold. 3 survivors, someone says. Later, a cup of hot water, a biscuit. You watch the grey-yellow sky. Everything is gone. Everything remains. You reach into your pocket. Chocolate. One last piece. You smile. In this corroded world, you kept your entire world alive.